Hello everyone, my name is Xenozach and welcome back to another World of Tanks console video. And finally, after a few days of waiting, Wargaming has been upping their game and releasing some info about the December overview Holiday Heroes Part 1. This of course has been split into two videos, or will be split into two videos, as they have only released a portion of what the entirety of December holds for us, just to give tankers a few things to look forward to. So we'll start off by reading their message to all of us. Dear tankers, in the spirit of the holidays, we want to thank all of you for everything you do for our community. Your passion for World of Tanks, as well as the love for World War II history and its armored vehicles, inspired us to make World of Tanks the game it is today. And there is no question that your continued feedback goes into making the game even better. As 2017 comes to a close, we want to show our appreciation by celebrating the joyous events for the entire month of December. After all, Tanksmas comes but once a year. We'll be sharing all of our exciting Tanksmas surprises soon, so be sure to check back later this month so you don't miss our grand reveal and all the goodies we have in store for you this Tanksmas season. From everyone here at Wargaming, we wish you a safe and happy holiday season. Warmest wishes, the World of Tanks team. I wish they would say console, but either way, it basically covers their message to us, the players, thanking us for our continued support. And you can see the holiday garage, your garage decked in halls for the entire month of December. Now, the update hasn't been implemented yet, and it will probably be implemented either December 6th or, as in today, later on, or in December 8th, because I believe there's an upcoming server downtime for that. But without further ado, let's get into some of the update features in Holiday Heroes Part 1. And right away you can check out the Tier 10 light tanks. In our last big release of 2017, make way for top tier light tanks on December 6th. So Tier 10 light tanks are finally making their debut into World of Tanks, and along with them will be two new winter maps, the Cliff Winter and Berlin Winter. And I don't remember exactly these. Weather variant maps are very unique to console in that PC doesn't get them, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how these maps play out with the winter variant. But just a quick look through this, so we can get a look at some of the new Tier 10 light tanks. We of course have the Tier 10 American light tank able to view from PC. None of the stats have been confirmed yet for these tanks, but this of course will be the modeling for the XM551 Sheridan, Tier 10 American light tank. And yes, just to answer your question, the 152mm gun launcher XM81 or XM81 that is on your T49 will be carrying over, or at least this is what I hope for, because again, console doesn't necessarily implement everything that they do on PC. For the Chinese light tanks, we're going to be getting the WZ1321, and just to give you a rough look of how these tanks will look, this of course is brought to you by Tanks GG. I'm not sponsored by them, but their content or setup for this, for tank comparison, is one of the ones I kind of base my models from for doing stuff for console. Next we have the T100LT Tier 10 Russian light tank. And this of course is the low profiled Russian light tank. You can see here, this I believe is going to be kind of almost an equivalent Tier 10 ELC, as it is very low profiled. It will pretty much, with a fully traversable turret, you'll basically be zooming around the battlefield and taking care of that with, oh wow, it's only 5 degrees of gun depression, as well as on the sides. No, all the way around. Nope, one. Next, we have the German Tier 10 light tank, the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. And this tank is probably going to be one of my favorites, or at least most unique ones for the update, besides the Sheridan, because of this little unique feature for gun depression on this tank. It extends the entire gun outside of the turret, which I don't know if that counts as... yeah, it does. It's modeled in the... it is modeled in the... oh, only 9. That's going to be a little bit interesting when you're aiming at that tank, but that'll at least give you some idea of... well, wrong one. Of what to expect on this tank. And finally, we have the Tier 10 French light tank, the AMX 13105. I believe this gets a 4-round autoloader. This is based on the newest version of the light tanks, and again, none of the stats you can't really use any of the stats that PC has, because recently some of their light tanks did get a buff, but for the most part, I believe this does have a 4-round autoloader for the 105. Oh, nope, never mind. 3-round autoloader. Apologies for that. But it'll be very reminiscent of the AMX 1390, the Tier 8. Now, this also brings into question, just so you know, what happens to the current Tier 8 light tanks. For PC, their update, I believe, took all Tier 8 light tanks that are currently standing, and their packages, and as well as their XP, and switched it over to Tier 9 light tanks. So essentially, if you own any of the Tier 8 light tanks, you will basically get a new Tier 9 light tank for free. So if you haven't purchased that, please get on that right away before the update is implemented. That way you can buy it at a cheaper cost. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that when console does this, that we will keep all the XP on the Tier 8, moving up to the Tier 9, so you're easily able to research the Tier 10. When this was done before, in one of the earliest updates from World of Tanks, they kept the experience on the lower tiered, or the current Tier 8, or in this case, yes, the current Tier 8 tank might gain all your experience. The Tier 9 becomes reset, and you have to then grind out for the Tier 10s. However, don't hold that against me if that happens. That is just what happened in one of the earlier updates for World of Tanks in the first few years. Alright, moving along, we have the brand new War Stories Runaway Tiger. The next chapter of War Stories on December 6th follows heroine Marianne Durux, I don't know how to say that name, and a stolen Tiger 2. Now, this might be leading into her driving the current captured King Tiger, as that was recently released, but War Stories again has their own unique tanks that are in War Stories that you can purchase, or you can use in that specific game mode. If you purchase it, I believe it just becomes available in the standard multiplayer, but it will be interesting to see if they give it just the standard captured King Tiger or a unique War Story variant. The Tanksmith Challenge Ernop. And if you notice right away, the IMTLS, or the MTLS MG14, the Tier 3 light tank, premium light tank, or Blitzen is more known as, with this little camo, is finally getting some buddies. Take command of Santa Sleigh and all 9 lovable reindeers. You can get a chance to earn up to 3 free premium tanks in our Tanksmith Challenge Earn Up, running from December 6th to the 31st. However, Wargaming, even though they posted this here, have not listed the names of the tanks. I won't say the names, but the tanks that correspond with the Ernop challenge, or even what the Ernop itself will be consisted of. However, it might just be one of your standard carrying through 6 or 7 different tiers of earning points, so you can claim that prize when you reach it. I believe the last one that did that was the, what was the last tank I earned? Not the STA2. Man, this is really hard. I'm trying to remember the last earn up we had. Either way, if you remember it, type it down in the comments below, but just to give you a quick heads up, they have not released anything for that yet. And finally, we have some new tanks emblems running from December 6th to January 6th. A little elf, a nutcracker, a reindeer, this little snowman, the angry tank commander snowman. And I believe this is based off of The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is a skeleton with the disguised as Santa, and a gingerbread man. And I don't know what this little thing is, but it looks like a cookie. He might just have a tank hold in him. So that's it for the December overview. Anything you like. Part 2 has not been confirmed as a release date, but as soon as it is updated, I will give you guys a quick update on part 2 of the video, and that will also be why this is labeled part 1. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hope it gave you enough information. Are you one of the lucky few people who actually own a tier 8 light tank? I know I have the RU251, the T49. I wasn't able to get the WZ132 or the well, yeah, it's the 132 and the T54 lightweight, but I will have at least a chance of getting 3 out of the 5 tier 10 light tanks that are coming to the game. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hey, if you did, hit the like, comment down below on your favorite part, and I will see you guys in the second review. Have a good night.